Coach's comments following tonight's 7-1 drubbing on the road of the Tri-City Storm. Alexander Fern, as always, joined by the head coach of the Lincoln Stars, Rocky Russo. Rocky, from up here, is it safe to say that's probably the most complete 60 minutes that you guys have played in a very long time?
Yeah, for sure. And I talked to the guys in the second intermission, and I said, okay, I know that we scored 3 goals in the second period, but I said, let's compare the first 2 periods. Which period was better? And we all agreed that it was the first period and not the second period. And we talked about the importance of the neutral zone. You've got to be able to defend it. You've got to be able to get through it. And when we lost control at points in time in the second period, it's because we were not getting pucks through the neutral zone. We weren't turning their feet. They were able to regroup and reattack, and you got the long change. It's just a combination of things that become a problem, but we were able to defend. Prouse made some big saves, and obviously we pot a couple. We're up 5-1 going into the third, feeling good, but we didn't change our mentality. We didn't go out and try to hold on. We played winning hockey. We were competitive, and that's why you turn a 5-1 lead into a 7-1 lead. And so, I'm proud of the guys. I thought our D-core was pretty good tonight. I thought our D-core was good. I thought that our special teams were outstanding. Our PK was good. We had a couple power play goals. Getting some goals from some guys that, like Sammy. How awesome is that for him to come in here in his first game and be able to bury one? Great pass coming off the bench by Courts to Rude on the back door for a goal there. And, it just – everybody was in on the fun tonight, and those are fun games to be a part of.
That special teams for you guys was extremely big. You look at that first goal for you guys, Alex Pelletier causing havoc behind the net. You mentioned, he hasn't been the most consistent penalty killer for you guys in terms of going out there all the time, but he's played that role before, and you've talked about that, when he was announcing his commitment to go to Boston College. He's that guy that when he's not scoring, he's going to find ways to contribute. He goes out there on the penalty kill, forces a turnover, and, puts home the goal. Special teams were big for you guys tonight, and that, of course, got it all started pretty early.
Yeah, he's that's what he was last year. He was a middle six guy that was a huge penalty kill guy for us and took important face-offs, and so I know I can always fall back to that B game with him if I need it, and Malks gets a penalty on the first one there, and I didn't agree with Gall, but that's neither here nor there. But it was an opportunity to get him out there, and obviously he's able to be successusful.
And then, you look at that power play goal later in the first period. You mentioned the great pass by Corton. If I told you, playing in his 42nd career game in the USHL, he gets his first assist tonight. He gets 2 assists tonight for you guys. Like we mentioned going into that pregame, Rocky, that line was going to be huge for you guys, whether it was Corton, whether it was going to be Marine, whether it was going to be Hipsky as well. Marine and Corton find the score sheet, but that on that power play as well. Jackson Rude, 6 goals this season. He has 2 power play goals in this building.
Yeah, and I actually talked to Courts in his meeting this past week about, I go, how have you played 40 games and you don't have any assists? And he kind of looked at me like, is this a loaded question? And I said, well, I'm going to tell you the answer. I said, you don't shoot enough pucks.
Yeah.
And you don't shoot to create enough. And everybody thinks that assists just come off of passes, and they do, but the more pucks you shoot to generate offensive opportunity in the blue paint, the more chances you're going to get those assists. And so made a great play on the first one. Obviously, he gets 2 tonight, but he's really taken the next step in his development. He's playing with some confidence. Next thing he needs to do is maybe drop the mitts and add that element to his game, but that's coming too. He's, we in that same conversation, I said, hey, you should probably model your game after somebody like Brady Tkachuk. He's always around the front of the paint. He's a great tipper of the puck. He's a great screener of the goalie. He plays physical. He plays hard. He's talented. He can score. He can fight. Like, that's a guy that you want to be a hockey player. That's a hockey player. And I just see so many of the same qualities in a Courts that I do in somebody like Brady. And so, if he can model his game after someone like him, you're going to have a lot of success.
Nick Young with a goal tonight as well, goals in 2 of his last 3 games. So your captaincy's really kind of led the game in terms of, putting the point output out there. I thought that puck might have been tipped. I think it went off the D skate in front. Talk about, him being able to drive play, whether that was on the power play, whether that was on 5-on-5 as well.
Well, it's such a big goal because we give the goal up on the face-off, and that one's on me. But we give the goal up on the face-off, and to get it back 2 minutes later and restore that 3-goal lead was really, really important. And then, obviously, Peds with an incredible pass to Pelly, kind of freezes the D and then slips it, and Pelly hits the one-timer, and he's able to bury that. And now you got a 4-goal lead going into the third. You're feeling pretty good about it.
You're making Lane Loomer wear a bubble for the rest of the season with the way that he played tonight with his 2 goals?
No. He can take that thing off whenever he's ready. He's the same player. He can go out there without any helmet on at all. He'd be the same player.
I feel like he'd succeed back in the 60s and 70s with his style of play as well.
He is the definition of a throwback player, and certainly he's got stitches on his face. That's why he's wearing it. But I'm sure the second that those stitches come out, that bubble will come off.
Yeah, and then, last question before we go ahead and get out of here, Rocky. You play the same Tri-City team again tomorrow night. They're going to be down after tonight. What do you say to the team going into tomorrow saying, hey, look at the performance that we just had on the road. How can you replicate that going into the Icebox tomorrow night?
We've just continued to talk about the importance of our base and our compete and our effort and our urgency. And as long as we have those, we can deal with whatever else comes our way. And the second night's always harder than the first night. And, their coach's narrative's going to be they did it to us in our building. Let's do it to them in their building. And, we're talking about this being a 4-point swing for us, right? And we're trying to catch them, obviously. Going into this game, we're 6 points back from them now. We're 4 points back from them. We're 2 points back if we win tomorrow. You're real close to creeping your way into that third, fourth spot, knowing full well that Muskegon or the Musketeers are in there as well. But at least we're in a position where we can continue to try to climb. And we've only got 11 games left, and we don't have a whole lot of time. We've got to have urgency to it. And yeah, I saw Sioux City lost tonight, so that's big for us, right? That's a 4-point swing on Tri-City, and obviously creeping up too on Sioux City. We just got to handle our business. We can't control the scoreboard. We don't watch the scoreboard. We got to go out and do our thing and win as many games as we can.
Rocky, thank you. That's been Coach's comments here tonight from the Viero Center. Stars back in action for our Hockey Fights Cancer Night tomorrow in Lincoln at the Icebox. Tickets available at LincolnStars.com.